show, I'll
Hello, this is the Marcus Allen Frishman show. We're with Marcus Allen Frishman, and I'm not. Hello, how have you been? Talk to me.
Hello, Archie. Well, for guests that haven't joined us previously, just so they know, I'm Marcus Allen Frishman, and you're not. Welcome
Yes,
to my
sir.
show.
How was your week?
Well, it was a nice week. It's cooled down in Los Angeles and stayed that way. We had a massive storm that has dissipated already, and we're back to warm weather, but cooler, in the 80s in the daytime and in the 50s degrees at night. So I'm getting a lot of sun. I'm a little red today.
Yes. How have you been, man? What's going on? What's the weather like? Tell me about the weather.
Los Angeles really only has two seasons. We have
Hot
winter
and bloody hot.
Well, yeah, we get really, we'll get into 110, 118 degrees, easily over 100 for weeks and weeks and weeks, in the 90s and 80s for months at daytime. We cool down even in the summer to maybe 70s and 80s at night. It has been known to stay hotter at night. And then in the winter, we're in the 70s. And at night, we're in the Los Angeles area. We can drop to 50s. Mostly we are in the 60s at night. So LA has good weather. It does rain hard here when it does rain, but there have been times we've gone over 2 years without a drop. So we don't rain a lot, but when we do, it's something. We get earthquakes every day in Los Angeles. Small earthquakes. You can feel them depending upon where you're at. And we get significant quakes a few times a year, somewhere around. So
and tell me.
Oh, today, Archie, we have Archie, I have about 100 watches. I haven't counted. I don't know the number. And I have all the luxury brands except for a couple. But I love independent watches. I love small non-luxury brands. And today I am sporting the Damasco solid titanium. It's a pilot watch.
Yes.
And look at that. That is a nice, sleek bracelet clasp. And it's just a beautifully sharp, clear watch. And it's all titanium. And it's beautiful. And I love it. And a watch doesn't have to be expensive to be something special. I have one of my 3 ball watches sitting by my side here at the desk. But I know watches are what your fans expect, but they don't usually get that here. We talk about life, love, doing the right things for success. And while we don't talk about God, all of my advice is godly based.
Super chat. First super chat from Black Cat 997, $5. I am Black Cat 997 and you are not. This is the most underrated show. Thank you.
Oh, Black Cat is the smartest man on YouTube today.
Yes, exactly.
I feel somewhat relaxed today, Archie. A little low key. I strained my back in my sleep for the second time recently. I don't know what that's about because I'm not an ache and I don't have aches and pains generally. That's probably because I try to get massage regularly. But yeah, my back hurts, and
Oh.
yeah, and so it's on the heels of doing some physical stuff in the house the last couple of days. I'm trying to throw out things, so I'm a little worn out, a little under energy today.
Yes, that sounds very, very, very. How is the car going? Porsche?
Oh, well,
Porsche?
I have stuff to talk about there. So, of course, my new 911 Porsche was purchased by my insurance company because I totaled my Porsche. And it's red like the previous one, and like the previous one, and like the previous one, but not the previous one to that or the one to that. I've had 6. So, I bought tires today. Now, one of my clients is Discount Tire Center. His name's Mike, and he's on Owens Mouth and Sherman Way in the San Fernando Valley, Los Angeles area. And Mike, I go in, and Mike, I have to force him to take my money. But he sold me a pair of tires that would normally be sold at the dealer for around, who's going to buy it at the dealer? $600. So I paid, I believe, $400 flat each. And these are beautiful tires. They're run flats, right? Run flats. It's a
Yep.
They have a maximum speed of 145, although I didn't need that option. I probably could have gotten the slower speed of 120 plus.
Yeah.
They're all season, and they're high profile. So they're going to, and they'll last 30, 40, well, they say they'll last 45,000. On the Porsche, if you know it, they can eat up tires in the back. The back tires can be eaten up 10, 15, max 20,000 on any recommended Porsche tire. Now, while this is approved Porsche tire, meaning it meets the standards, Porsche would never put this tire, this Michelin, on their vehicles. I did, and you learn that if you're a street driver and a daily driver like me, you learn that after your first Porsche. When your first Porsche eats up its back tires in 8,000 miles, the front tires in 15, and then you learn, they want $500 and $600 for these low profile performance tires that are just terrible. They're loud.
How long does the brakes last on the Porsche?
And I just replaced the brakes too. So the brakes I replaced them with are above the Porsche standard. They're called Red Stuff. The company that makes red stuff makes yellow stuff. That's the name of the product. And in fact, it's made here in Los Angeles.
Sounds like a Viagra treatment.
Well, the red stuff is for excellent top performance. The yellow stuff is for track. And then I believe they have a blue stuff that's for wouldn't go on the Porsche. It would go on just your typical vehicle. But I put those on the car. And now, listen what happens Monday. I am doing on my Porsche a PDK service.
That's the transmission.
The transmission service. Now that would cost, if Porsche did it, and of course they say that's a sealed compartment, never needing. There's a filter in there.
Yes, there is a. I know exactly how many.
You know what it is.
Anyway, yes.
People can look it up, and it costs a bloody fortune, like $4,000. I am getting it for about $1,600, and a courtesy discount of 15% off. Then I'm doing the gearbox service. Now, I don't know what Porsche charges for that, but you can presume 3 times as much as I will pay. I'm going to a certified, trained from Porsche, but it's an independent. All the mechanics are trained by Porsche, and that will cost me $600, less 15%. So that, and then I'm doing the routine oil change, which at the dealer is $600. I'll be paying $349 and getting a free filter. Now, I'm not going to any independent. I'm going to House Automotive. It's a 3-chain, an individual owner in Los Angeles, and all his people are certified by Porsche, just like the Porsche dealership. So they're fabulous, but the hourly rate is significantly less. So I'm going to be spending between all of this, I don't know, over $3,500 to make sure my car will last. Take care of your car, folks. Service your vehicles.
Yes. No, that's actually the BMW has the same thing. They say the transmission is sealed for life. You never have to do it, but it's a ZF transmission, and ZF says you do have to do it. So I think,
of course you do. There's
and again, it's got a filter and oil. You change the transmission oil and you put new filter in. That's going to give you trouble-free motoring. You know?
And if you do the gearbox at the same time, it's a separate compartment. You'll save a little money for that. I want to tell you a quick story. I had a 1991. I had many BMWs. I currently have a 1997 BMW 3 Series that I bought new in 1997. It's in the garage. But when I owned my 1991 BMW, and I drove that for about 4 years as my primary vehicle, I went from the 91 to the 97.
Yes.
Yeah, something like that. I think I'm getting the car models wrong, but let me just get to the story. So when I went from one BMW to the next, buying it new at the dealership, they decided to offer suddenly free oil changes included by the manufacturer. So the manufacturer pays the dealer something through some arrangement, but oil servicing included, oil and filter. When that happened, and keep in mind, this is not yet synthetic oil time. So this is regular oil. So when that happened, they developed a little light on the dashboard, and it would go from green, 9 green dots, 7 green dots, 3 green dots, a yellow dot, a red dot. And it would do that, and that's when you would be entitled to get your service.
Yes.
As I was approaching 9,000 miles on my first oil change, my second one, because you always get the 1,000-mile oil change when you buy a car. So on the second oil change, I was complaining, that thing isn't working. And they said to me in writing, oh, it works. That's fine. It works. 9,000, almost 9,000 miles, and I'm not red yet? I'm not due for this free oil change? No. Contacted Porsche. Porsche verified this. Pushed back, couldn't get the oil change. And I said, well, here's the question. I wrote a letter to Porsche, Germany. And I said, hey, on my other oil, on my previous car where you weren't paying the oils, I had to change the oil every 3,000 miles. That was the dealer recommendation via the manufacturer recommendation. And the oil was a mobile product. Why suddenly, when you pay for it, and it's the same exact oil product you're recommending, why is it 9,000? And by the way, I got a letter from the viscosity expert at Mobile Oil. I got that. I'm going to end my story in a moment. And when I got the viscosity letter, it said our Mobile Oil can't go past 6,000 miles without, and he explained in technical terms how the viscosity gets lost. So I called Porsche and I sent them this information. And I said, if you don't do my oil changes every 3,000 miles, I'm going to let the worldwide Porsche community know what I've discovered. The oil manufacturer says 3,000 on this car, and you are scamming me by not doing it now that you're offering to pay for it as a part of the purchase of the vehicle. What changed? Nothing, except now you're paying for it. So I got a settlement from them. I actually got a check, $3,000. I didn't file a lawsuit. I just wrote a letter. It's a great little story. Fight for everything.
Wow. And we've got joining us.
Hey there, it's Edie.
Hey, Edie, how have you been? Talk to us. What's new?
Oh my God. I missed you. I missed you last week.
Yes, you did, Edith.
What's going on over here? Work.
Saving
Not
life.
terrible. I love it. I love it. It keeps me busy. It keeps me happy. It keeps me smiling. I just joined a spiritual community, dating community.
Wow. How was that? Tell us about that.
Oh, it's so funny. Because there's a lot of CEOs and private owners of businesses and things like that. And I've always done Match or Facebook or things like that. And I was like, whoa, I'm missing out. Marcus,
Yes.
you should join.
Edith, welcome to my show. Why don't you introduce yourself, your podcast's name, and so forth?
So my name is Edith Kim, and I have a podcast. Actually, it's on pause, and it's transitioning into NOMT Productions. So that will be. I'll keep it a secret for now, but I'm just going to be producing small films.
What happened to Bisexual Coffee?
And Bisexual Coffee has ended. That was short. That was a short 8 episode. My partner, Michael LeBlanc, is working on his business. He also runs a production company as well. So, you start things and you stop them. I do anyway. It's easy for me to flow from one thing to another.
We got a super chat. Chief Tit, $3. Where's Narc? Oh my God, she's here again. Who? You? And I must say, Edith, you must be getting swamped on the dating site there. You're a good-looking lady who knows what she wants, and you've got to seize the moment because the best time is now.
I have a question for Edith since she brought up dating.
Okay.
Edith, give me 5 of the most important male characteristics that you would find a positive in a relationship, and are they deal killers or not?
I vibe from a different landscape now, and I have been on a lot of dates, and I have to say that the biggest one is that the individual is authentic. They feel good in their body. They know what they're doing. They know who they are. And unfortunately for me, being broke, like someone I can't date in that realm, which I've done before. And if the individual doesn't have enough money, then they have been insecure on the date and they haven't felt right. And that's not good for me or them. So
but let me interrupt you on that one point. But we're not, you're a strong, independent woman. So you're not looking for some man to support you, but you are looking for the man to
be self-sufficient,
self-supporting and independence himself, to be an equal.
Right.
Yeah.
So that I can be feminine, that I don't have to, I don't feel obligated in any way to offset both sides of the coin, the feminine or the masculine side of the coin.
See, this is where many men get confused. They think a woman who expects a man to have made a living or have some semblance of independent financials is going to take advantage of him or going to use his money. That does happen, but just in and of itself doesn't make it happen, right? So that's a good point you've made.
Yes, it's because I've dated a lot. I've been dating a lot just to figure things out because the whole landscape has changed since I'm married. So it's changed since every decade. It's like it just changes, and how I feel about dating changes too. I'm in it for the conversation and for just the fun.
Okay, let me ask another question relate to money. So the man meets all your qualifications. Let's make up a story that there's two men and they meet, you're equally qualified to date you and be in a relationship with you. One is massively wealthy. The other one is well off. He makes a good living and he's a professional and he will never need you to help him. In fact, he will be generous enough likely that his salary exceeds yours, but one is super rich. Does it make a difference to you?
Oh, wow. Does it make a difference to me? It's all about the person, though. Because if I excel past the man that makes a really good living, but I guess number two, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's not filthy rich. But if I excel past him, will he be okay with that?
Right.
Well,
That's a good point. Again, that you're putting it on them, not yourself. You've exactly answered the question in a proper way, in my opinion. It doesn't matter to you as long as they have some semblance of a job and ability to support themselves. That is super, if they take you out to a nice expensive restaurant all the time versus having a chef at home, it doesn't make any difference to you.
No, but as a matter of fact, I cook. I'm a really, really good cook, and I prefer to cook at home because the food that I make oftentimes is better than when you go out.
Wow, that's good.
So what about you, Marcus?
I think on my side, I think wealth would influence me. I think if the woman I was dating was extremely wealthy or her family was extremely wealthy, it would be a notch above in a selection of a comparable woman with only satisfactory means. Yep, I would think wealth would have an impact for me.
As long as you can have fun.
Right. In the end, you have to, exactly. In the end, you have to have fun. But I have your unique, I don't want to work anymore. I would love to be supported by a woman and have luxury goods paid for by her. That's my personal desire. We're all snowflakes. We're all different. And I've evolved to that at this point in my life. And
there's the old joke there. This woman says, I'd like to meet a man one day who doesn't want sex all the time and I can be sufficient. And it's called a job. A job. Called a job.
Yeah.
We've got a super chat from Yankee Doodle, our favorite Yankee Doodle, $5. What is a good way to convey on a dating app that I am very successful without being tacky? So this guy here is pretty damn comfortable. How does he let them know without coming across as a rich, entitled dick?
Well, I'll tackle that before Edith, because I was a paid matchmaker at the America's largest dating service called Great Expectation. I was the videographer, matchmaker, consultant. I did it for a year and 2 months. It was my first job out of college, but they trained me, and I learned over time, and I put many marriages together. And I think I think it's important. I think women will find it important. I think most women will find it more important than Edith does. And I think the women that are both successful will find it more important. And the women that are less successful might find it less important, but they're all going to find it relevant. And I think the way you convey it is in a picture, not in words. You're not going to say something that's going to impress them on your profile. You're going to show them. And a picture speaks 1,000 words, and it's absolutely true. And so when I put people's profiles together, I would take a look at their positives, and this is definitely a positive. And I would say, okay, now look, don't put that in the words. put it in the picture, and it has to be subtle. So
Can I
that would be
add
how
to
I would recommend it.
I would like to add to that. It's all about your intuition about yourself, how you want to be depicted. Like Marcus says, if it's in a picture, what kind of, I mean, you're well-to-do person, what kind of clothes? Put together a really nice outfit. Have a tasteful picture made by a professional. Or I use AI quite a bit in doing a lot of cover art and things like that, video creation. So you can go into AI and take a picture of yourself and have AI create a photo, but then that's not authentic.
No, that's not that authentic unless it is. You could say,
That's true.
you know
Unless
what I mean. For instance, you could have a yacht or a jet, and you could have a picture of it. You could say to AI, merge me into my own luxury good, put it there. You know, that would be legitimate. But if you're sitting in someone else's jet and you've never had a jet, you don't even have
right,
a Piper Cub.
that
You're now misleading people. But the key is to be yourself. Now, I'm going to give you an example of how you shouldn't be yourself. I don't know if it's the best example I can come up with, but I remember it. So there was a lady named Mona who came to this dating service. And Mona was not a particularly beautiful woman, right? In my opinion. And I think there's some general evaluations of beauty. So I think generally others wouldn't find her that beautiful. When I met her, and her pictures were just atrocious, we had to retake them. I'm now remembering all this in my head. Mona was a young genius who put on her profile rocket scientist as her job. And I called her in and I said, "What's this rocket scientist?" She says, "That's what I do. I mean, I work for Jet Propulsion Laboratory." We became good friends. And one of the greatest experiences was visiting Jet Propulsion Laboratory. If you know, that's JPL in Pasadena, California. And she was a top scientist there working on rockets. And I said to her, "We need to convey your intelligence and your intellect and your professional experience, but not like that." Again, we went to pictures. So I went to JPL with her and I took pictures for her around her environment, which made it now artistic. We had pictures of her in front of, they had big globes of the moon and the planets and various artifacts around that facility. That was pretty interesting. So she could line up with somebody who had those interests, because she certainly would overwhelm any man that didn't. And it fixed it. But don't put, "I'm a rocket scientist." You get it? You see how words can...
it's very basic too, and it sounds like a joke.
It's intimidating, and it might not have been... Yeah, it wasn't good. We fixed it. And she became very popular, actually, after the new pictures.
Yeah, someone, you have to do things with integrity, so you get back integrity. Make any sense?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Tell me this, Edith. What is the cutoff for a man you would date? How much yearly income would he need to date you?
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's an interesting question, Archie.
It is really interesting.
I
And
I bet she compares it to her own level of income.
A little bit.
She'll use that as the gauge. I'm betting.
I would say about 500,000 a year would be a that's something where you can still have happiness.
Yeah.
And you could still be a well-rounded individual.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say that would be.
So they would have to earn at least 500 a year, or be worth 500.
At least, yeah.
500 a year.
Just so you know,
That's a pretty basic. I don't think that's bad at all.
500,000
That's not a,
in America puts them at the top 3%. Just so you know the number.
yeah. So if you met somebody who was, say, earning 125, that'd be a no?
Yes. That would be a no. And I say that with experience.
Okay.
With dating.
500,000, that's kind of like a surgeon would earn, isn't it? What's 500?
Well, I'm a nurse.
A
so
surgeon, top level executives. But you know, Archie, in the last, I want to say 8, 9, 10 years, top executives in America are not at 120, 150, 200 anymore. They're at 3 and 4. That's the scale now.
Yeah. So if someone was on 300, that's not enough?
it's more of an Archie. It's
More of an
emotional.
attitude.
Yes. How do you feel about yourself? You know,
Yeah.
I dated a guy that made 500,000 a year, and he was not good with himself, and that is really hard to watch.
What did he do to earn 500,000 a year?
Investments.
Okay.
He did investments.
Edith, have you ever dated somebody in your life? And I'm sure you have. I just wanted to hear your experience when you evolved to the needing a higher income man. Have you ever dated a poor man?
Oh, yes.
What are those experiences? Because you've been a professional nurse, and in America, nurses do very well.
Yeah. So I mean, a nurse would be about 100 to 150.
You know, you can make much more than that, Archie.
You can.
So yeah,
make
and
more
there's
than
overtime and double time, and yeah, no, they're into
and then investments, and then I'm switching
straight salary. Easily a lot are 250, 250.
Yeah. So
Sure.
What were you asking, Archie?
I was asking, like, if how do you know if they earn It's a bit rude to say how much do you earn. Like, how do you know someone earns 500?
Character. Oh, it is so easy to see. Someone who doesn't make a lot is their emotions. They flip the script just like that. Inconsistent verbally, inconsistent with plans, inconsistent with their life. Their house is in disarray.
And you're getting to know them over time, Edith. So you're developing filling in the answer to the question that you want.
I look
without
I
asking.
look for tells. You know, I'm 56 years old and I've been on a lot of dates. I have a husband. Okay.
Yeah.
And he's, you know, you've got to go toe to toe with that too, how he is. And
how is he? Is he okay? Your husband? He's happy?
He works hard. You made the joke. That joke you made.
Yes.
What was it? What do you
call a restaurateur who works 80 hours a week part-time?
I never told him the joke. I never told him the joke. He works very hard.
You mentioned before that your intimate relation with your husband is not on the agenda.
It's not, because he and I started our relationship right there with the physical part of it. It was like, and that's not a great place to start a relationship either, because you know, inconsistencies, and we grew up together, Archie. We grew up together. We literally got married. I was 33 and he was 32.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I worked I worked and he spent 10 years in retirement while I worked.
I see.
And it just puts such a strain on our relationship. And the way I look at it now is, go take care of that restaurant. It needs to do well. I'm not going to get involved. I won't say a
Does
word.
does he ever ask you, "Hey, I want to have intimate times with you now today. Can we have intimate times together?"
We're really working on a friendship,
Yeah.
which we never had.
Yes.
So being able to communicate with one another, being authentic with one another. If he doesn't want to do something, then I'm not going to flip the script on him, and
But
vice
he
versa.
knows you see other guys, does he?
He does.
And he sees other women.
He doesn't have time, like you said. I don't
Yes.
know. I don't know. There's a woman that works there, and she's pretty attractive, and she's 20 years younger than him. It's not my business. I don't ask any questions.
Hmm. What do you consider? Okay, 500,000 is what you'd like. What is a middle class person? What would you consider an income of a nice middle class person would be?
Middle class?
Yes.
What's considered middle class again?
Middle class, you know, it's the American dream. It's you know, like the top end is 500,000, or you think that is middle class?
Uh, I don't. I don't think so because doctors where I work
Yeah.
make that much. So the doctors aren't middle class, are they?
No, that'd
Well,
be at the higher end.
some internists are, but middle class also depends upon where you're at. I mean, you can make $56,000 a year in North Carolina. You'll need, I'm going to throw out a number, 150,000 in Los Angeles to have some sort of equivalent lifestyle just to live here. I mean, just to get by.
Right.
If you were to date a guy, what asset base do you think he'd need to have, like a net worth? So income is one thing, but what asset base would he need? Would he need to be 2 million, 3 million? Which in a lot of parts of LA is just an average house. What sort of net worth do you think he would need to be worthy of dating?
You would have to have definitely own his own home. I have to be able to visualize it because
Yes. No, that's
people
okay.
in
Please.
Florida, I live in Florida and people do take offense, and the area where I moved, there's a lot of older gentlemen that live here, and they all I moved in, and I swear to you, the first 3 months I was here, I never caught a break, and
Yeah.
they're all retired, all of them. And we have a private gym here, and I would go work out, and I could never work out alone. And so it's definitely starts with, since I can't ask right out, I don't ask right out outright what your FICO score is. Are you
Yeah.
paying for the meal? Did you show
Yeah.
up in a nice car or your mom's Oldsmobile? Um,
Sure.
how are you dressed? I'm not going to wear my NASA shirt on a date. I'm going to dress up. My hair's going to be done. I'm going to look sharp. What do you look like? Are you wearing thrift store shoes, or do you have Cole Haans on your feet?
Sure.
Do you understand what I'm saying, Archie?
Yes. So someone you dated, they could earn big money, but they may not have a lot of assets, but you'd need them to have their own house, a reasonable car, and money
Emotionally
to pick up
stable.
the tab.
That's it.
You don't go Dutch?
Oh God, no. Oh, I learned my lesson there too. Don't do that.
No, never do that. It's one or the other.
Mm-mm.
I have a question for Edith.
Mm.
Edith, you're married and you have the open dating option, but how do you tell men about that, and how is it received? And will you ever marry?
Good question, Marcus.
Oh, I don't feel obligated to say a word because it's a date. That's all it is.
At what point?
We're on a date. We're here to enjoy each other's company. We're not exchanging anything. I'm not taking off my clothes and, laying down with the person the first date, not doing that. So I don't feel obligated to say that I have an open relationship or anything unless I'm asked.
How do you label yourself on a dating site that would normally have a box called single, a married, open relationship, that kind of?
That's it. Open relationship.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's complicated. It's complicated.
Oh,
Complicated.
it's complicated implies that it's actually complicated. And in my
Right.
relationship, it's not complicated. The whole jealousy thing doesn't work for us. And I can't, I don't want any anger anywhere near me. He
He's
doesn't need it either.
dating, right?
What's that?
Your husband is dating.
We don't talk about it.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
No.
What do you suspect? You're a very smart and observant woman. What do you suspect? Since it's unsaid and you're not talking about it, which isn't a problem, it's a good thing, but you must suspect it's a natural thing.
Oh, well, like I said, there's this young woman at the restaurant and she's cute, why not? But we do have a rule. When I was working at the restaurant, he had this very, very strong rule: no relationships. So the workers couldn't date one another because it created issues. It would always create issues. So I don't know if he still does it that way. Like he doesn't. I don't know. I kind of suspected they might be, but
He'll have to keep it very quiet if he has that rule. I find the workplace to be the best place for men and women to meet and develop relationships. The dynamic of supervisor, manager, and subservient employee gets in there. And there's the People's Republic of California has a lot of laws that allow it, but things trigger violations. But I think it's a great place to meet people.
So with being a nurse, there used to be a lot of that in the hospital, a lot of dating amongst the employees and the doctors and the nurses, and it was just drama, drama, drama.
Yeah.
All the time. And now there are so many rules in place there. If you're going to date, it has to be open. You have to go down to HR. You have to sign documents. Like if a doctor dates a nurse and they can't speak to each other or work on the same floor.
Yeah, on that note, I have a quick story. When I was living in the Philippines 3 months a year since 2003, during the first 5 years I was working there, and I was in that hotel, the Shangri-La, and I met a young lady and got deeply involved with her. And she worked there. She was one of the employees. I won't mention her name because of the story. And they caught it on video, and they called her in and they called me in. And then that was security. And then did an investigation. A couple of days passed. And then the general manager called me in, a German man with some very stereotypic German name. He called me Wolfgang. He called me in and he closed his door. And he said, "Tell me what's happening between you and this young lady." And I did. And that took some time. And his conclusion, he said, I remember him pausing and thinking a minute and then just saying, "Well, we have a rule against fraternization, but we don't have a rule against love."
Oh.
True, just like that. And he shot out this was what I didn't know he was going to do. He shot a memo out saying that generically, "Staff, there have been reports of a relationship." Everybody knew who it was, gossip fast. It went to staff, not customers, not guests like me. But I heard of it when my girlfriend came with it in her hands and said, "Look at this." And I read it, and it said exactly the same thing he told me. He doubled down on the rule, fraternization, and went into that, and then said, but we don't oppose love, so we support love. And then he gave it the whole thing a pass. True story.
That's
But she
pretty great.
was mortified. She was mortified and so upset that letter went out. She thought I had created that, or made him do it or something. It had nothing to do with it. Yeah.
Chief Tit, $3. I want Mrs. Howe from Gilligan's Island. So hot. There we go. That's a MILF support there. A lot to be said for an older lady there, especially with money. Black Cat 997, $2. What is the age range?
That's for Edith.
Actually, Edith, we don't really talk ages there,
Oh,
but
I guess we haven't, have we?
No.
The youngest I've dated is another nurse, actually, and he's 28.
And the oldest?
And the oldest, 73.
A young 73.
Yeah, why not?
Here's a
Yankee Doodle, $5. Some women over 50 say they feel invisible to men. Do you feel that sometimes?
Oh God, never. Never, 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 never. It's all a belief, I think. It's all what's up you carry with you all the time. And I can understand that, though, because there's a lot of advertisements around women and influencers and this and that. And I'm so knee deep in my own creation over here in my own studio that I don't have time for that. And I'm surrounded by such great people like yourselves that that never crosses my mind. It doesn't.
When a woman has charisma and a woman has developed a full level of being well-centered psychologically with a good job, hobbies, run through that list, I won't keep going, she becomes physically beautiful, at least to me, that you look at that woman and you just think she's more beautiful than she might really be. It's just a thing that I've noticed in me personally.
I can understand for some women, you know, who have been caretakers their whole lives for others, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, now I've got to think about myself. Where do I start? I haven't been thinking about myself for decades. Where am I going to go with this? And for me, it's just, I've always kind of been the kind of person I eat a certain way, I work out, I like to be in bed by a certain time. I asked Marcus the last show you guys had about pedicures, and that's another thing. I soak my feet in Epsom salts and I wash my legs, and I'll do that before bed.
I add a little tea tree oil to it. It kills the fungus.
I don't have fungus.
No, but older men have to. I don't have fungus either. But
because of the tea tree oil.
Older men, because of the tea. I don't have wrinkles, but I've been using Retin-A since I've been 26. So, you know, you use these things to prevent.
Well, yeah, that's another thing I do on TikTok is I talk about skincare and all these different skincare products and doing skincare. And I love that. And it's super fun. But a lot of women don't know you're losing oil. You're losing. And after a certain point, you don't shed your skin cells. So you got to get in there and you really got to work your skin. And I fast 5 days a week. I will fast.
What?
Yeah, I will fast till 7 p.m.
Wait,
now
5
1
days?
week a month. 1 week a month.
Oh
Not
my
the rest
God.
of the month, but
Edith.
5 days.
You sure this is healthy? 5
Oh yeah.
days? No food.
I've been doing it for decades.
You know how long I fast?
Tell me.
Let's see. I have 16 ounces of milk with Ovaltine before I sleep, so that's about midnight. It's a daily fast, and then I wake up 10:30 in the morning and have a tiny Diet Coke. So between midnight and 10:30 in the morning, that's my sleep time.
Yeah.
And that's my fast.
Look,
Archie
but
and I
that's
don't
still
even
a
fast,
fast.
do we, Archie? It's just a thing.
We got Chief Tit joining us. Hello, Chief Tit. How are you?
Hello, how are you? Hello,
I was
Marcus. Hello,
wondering-
Edith.
Chris F, $10. Link for Chief T. There we go. He's on there.
The cook.
I got to be honest with you, Chief Tit. I'm actually blown away. Who the fuck earns $500,000
Edith,
US? That's
Uh-oh. Am I in trouble?
750 Aussie.
There are a
This
few
much.
comments, Edith, that are not pleased with that answer. Go ahead, Chief.
no. Tell me, Edith, why is the $500,000 threshold an issue at all? I can understand somebody that's not completely broke, maybe somebody that's coming into things with debt and all of that. I get that, right? But this business about somebody having to make 500,000 US, and that's one of the characteristics you look for in somebody. I don't get it. Just explain it to me.
I'll explain it to you.
Yeah.
So it's more of a mindset than it is anything else. A $500,000 mindset means
Yeah.
everything to me. That means that man is not going to lose his cool around me, isn't going to take anything I say personally, isn't going to see me
Well, how would he not
doing
take
my
things personally?
business.
But how would he not take anything personally just because he's making
I'm just saying,
$500,000?
it's a mindset because you feel good with yourself. You're like, oh, I'm good with myself. I don't need to compete with this person.
Edith, I know a lot of guys, for example, who are on a shitload more than that, right? And A, they're insecure. B, they're just generally unhappy with themselves for various different reasons. So all those characteristics that you think automatically come with somebody that's on big money, my observation from knowing a lot of guys in that category is that that's not necessarily the case. And there's a second thing. If a guy knows that you're thinking that way and they're on that sort of money, that, with the greatest respect, is a bit of a turnoff.
No, I
Because-
understand.
Because there's, I'll tell you one particular example. I've got my cousin. He's a very, very wealthy guy, right? He's got a $80 million house on Sydney Harbour right next to the bridge. That guy, I love him, but one of his big problems is that when he goes out and he takes a girl out on a date or whatever it might be, he has to literally avoid them finding out that he's got that sort of level of money, because the way that the girl will act towards him suddenly changes. You can see the calculation change in her head. She's not worried about whether he's a nice guy anymore. It's more, oh, here's my opportunity to grab onto this gravy train. You know what I mean? And then he feels objectified then and doesn't feel like a human being anymore. So I see where you're going, but there can be the downside for all of that sort of way of thinking.
Can I
Chief
respond
Tit,
to that?
let me defend your position for a second, Edith. Chief Tit, we had established very early on that comment that she is not looking for support or gifts or luxury goods. It's more of a frame of mind. So it's a very different. Now the man's going to have to discern that, and I just wanted to make that point. And your shirt is fabulous.
Thank you. Yours too.
So, and Chief, I just want to also say is I don't need someone like that to take care of what I do look for in another human being, because anyone I go out on a date with, I treat them with the same respect I treat myself. Is that I just want them to be a whole person. Be able to go on that date and have a great time.
Edith, they might be a whole person. They may have all those characteristics you're looking for and not be earning 500. That's my point. So why would you write off such a huge portion of the male population because they're not on 500.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying? You could get a guy, for example, that's got a very good job and it's very sort of confident in himself. He's a gentleman, got everything going for him, right? And he just doesn't seem to be earning 500 because that 500's not really maybe one of the big, most important things in his life. He may be thinking, I want to have more downtime and travel and not have to work like a dog and therefore maybe earn, 200 or 100 or 150 and just be comfortable in my life. But he's got his shit together. He's a nice guy, stable guy, chivalrous, all the things that a woman likes.
And I think there's exceptions to the rule.
So, Marcus, are you saying that I've converted her, Marcus? What are you saying? Have I converted her?
I'm saying that there's, we're having just a casual discussion on YouTube.
Yeah.
So, there's exceptions to every rule we throw out.
Very quickly, super chat, Pinstripe Breeze, $2. Those who have planes and fly them. There we go.
Archie, before you go on to that comment, may I say something?
Yes.
So, this show is void of my usual arrogance and pompousness.
Yes.
Because we have a guest and two guests now. But I would like to read something and then I would like to depart because I have a dinner arrangement.
That's okay.
Is official closing time of the show.
Okay.
But I think it should go on with my endorsement. And I'd like to read a comment.
Sure.
With all these guests on, how is this the Marcus show anymore? I'm disappointed because I enjoy a full hour of just Marcus. So with that, I'm Marcus Allen Frishman. You're not. I got to go to dinner. God bless all of you. See you next week. Archie, cut me off.
Thank you, Marcus. And we've got a fill-in guest. We've got the Narc joins us.
Oh, I love it.
Get ready, Edith. Get ready.
I'm ready.
Edith, I loved you. I jerked off last week. But you're fucking ridiculous here. You're fucking ridiculous here. You're married, aren't you? You're married, aren't you?
Yeah.
So why do you give a shit if a guy makes 500 grand or not? You want to fuck him. You want him to fuck you hard. Why do you give a fuck?
No, she said it's an attitude. It's an attitude. It's an attitude. It's an attitude. I got that 500K attitude, Narc.
Get the fuck out of here. I know guys who make 50 grand with attitude.
$2 grand
What happens if that guy? What happens if that guy has got that attitude at 50 grand? What about Edith?
Tell me.
This is Blondie fucking 20 years time. What the fuck's going on here, Chief Tit? If I'm a millionaire, how old are you? How old are you?
56.
56. If I'm a millionaire, if I make 500 grand, I'm after fucking 30-year-old. Get the fuck out of here.
Don't say it.
No. Let's be real here. This is what's wrong with the fucking women today.
No.
You're fucking married. No.
Okay.
Hey, Edith, I'm angry here. That's why I jumped on. I'm on testosterone. It's roid rage. I'm blaming it on that.
That's right.
But you're married.
He actually is, Edith. He actually is.
You're married. You're married, right?
Yes.
Then you've got this
they're married, but they have an agreement. They have an agreement. They are not together.
Get the
It's
fuck
one
out of
thing
here.
to be married, but it's another thing to be. When she said she's married, she didn't say, I live as husband and wife with my husband.
She doesn't say anything. She doesn't
married,
disclose.
but they live
She doesn't
apart.
disclose. No. She doesn't disclose it. That's lying to me. You don't disclose that.
I do.
She didn't say that, Narc.
She said, hold on. What she said was that she doesn't disclose it, but she won't necessarily hide it if she is directly asked the question.
Because if I meet a woman on these apps, I would assume she's fucking single.
I am single. It's
Narky,
open.
you wouldn't care either way.
No. Look, Edith, I'm a little bit disappointed in you today. I'm a little bit disappointed. But you come across as a money grub. Hey, as a money grubby grub. I'm sorry. You don't go Dutch. I told my fucking daughter, you pay fucking half when you fucking go out. I had someone give her a pair of AirPods. Okay, give them fucking back.
But you know what, Narc? I've got my two boys and I teach them that if they're ever in a situation where they're with another girl, whether they're dating them, not dating them, whatever, and that girl's not accompanied by a bloke, that they should offer to pay just as a matter of courtesy and chivalry.
No, look, you know what it is, Chief? You know what I'm sick of? Is my eldest, she said to me, guess what, Dad? I came back from the gym and I got off to take the weights off the Smith machine. I go, what's wrong with that? He goes, I could have done it myself. I go, the guy has been a gentleman, you stupid bitch.
That's right? There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean?
Women, and the problem with women these days, if they're feminists when it suits them, and when it doesn't, they're not. That's what pisses me off.
I have to say, that is a bit of a problem.
Right? Men these days, right? That's why there's a market for people like Andrew Tate, for the marginalised little Daves and Dados and Jimmy Dub and Jimmy's in the chat. Was men don't know what women want. And women, they're flip-floppers. One day they're feminists, one day they're not. You said you don't go nuts.
Naki, I agree with you, but there's one thing we've got to say about that, right? And this is purely my personal point of view on it. You've got to have your own values and your own way of acting. And if you think you're doing the right thing, then that's the way you've got to be. And you're not going to, you've got to not care if they react badly.
Chief, what happens if what you think is doing the right thing is wrong in the first place?
No, but it's right according to you, according to your standards. You can't.
No, I don't agree with that.
You don't just adopt everybody's standards, you know?
Yeah, I don't agree with that. Because in Edith's eyes, she believes what she believes. 500K is a mindset. That's bullshit.
But Archie, look, I'll tell you something that happened the other day. I was going to court, and I opened the door for a female barrister that was walking to the side of me, and I said, "Ma'am, after you." And she said to me, "I can open my own door. I don't need you to do that." I said, "That's fine. I'm very sorry to have offended you. But you know what? I'm going to still do it every single time for every other woman as well."
I do it all the time, Chief, right? It's ridiculous.
No, but you know what I mean?
Black
you shouldn't affect what somebody else says.
$2. Narc is a feminist.
Yes.
So, Narc, I just want to say, it's all about an agreement, okay? What is in that agreement? The dating scene is loaded with people like me, okay? And I told Marcus, it will say on my dating profile, he was saying it's complicated, but there's open relationship, there's things like that. So the person who asks me out is in agreement with my profile.
No, the problem I have, the problem I have is the 500K threshold. You said it's a state of mind. Chief Tint made a valid point. There are people who make 100 grand who have got that state of mind.
And I agree.
You said a monetary value, which makes you come across as a money-hungry bitch. I'm sorry.
I'm not mad at that.
But Edith, would you reveal that, Edith, though?
What's that?
Would you reveal that? You wouldn't openly reveal. I mean, we're talking on a chat now, but I mean, you wouldn't actually say to a guy, unless you think you're making enough money, I wouldn't actually date you. You wouldn't do that.
No.
Right, no. Okay, I see where you're going.
No, I look at the profile and see if that
this is what she'll do. She'll do. She'll look at the car. She'll look at the watch. Look at the shoes, right? What suburb do you live? She'll do what Archie does. Ask the probing questions. I know women like that, and they're all fucking single. Shut the fuck up, Archie. I know women like that. I know women like that in real life, right? They're all fucking single. Oh, they're all fucking single and unhappy.
I can't look at the man's,
No, you do. You profile them. I'm a former forensic profiler. I know what the fuck is going on here.
Naki, what I think Edith is developing her argument about is to say that a man that's not well dressed is inherently not insecure, but it says something else about him.
No, the opposite. He's not prepared to make an effort. I know plenty of well-off guys who they purposely, when they go buy a car, when they go into a luxury store, they dress down, but they have a great pair of shoes or a nice watch. Always nice shoes, right?
Yeah.
And I've been with them, right? And I sort of dress up, right? And I go, what the fuck are you doing, right? Because they say to me, I want to walk in there and I want them to think I can't afford it.
Yeah, I know.
They're the ones that are secure. The ones that dress up all the time are the insecure fucks.
No, but I think if you don't dress up for a date, it shows that you don't give a fuck.
That's different.
You know what I mean? It's like disrespectful, don't you think, Naki?
I'm saying it's how you dress, right?
Like Naki, if there was a boy if a boy turned up to take one of your girls out for a date, and he turned up looking like a slob with a pair of thongs on, you'd be saying to her in the left ear, well, who the fuck is this rubbish that's come to
I'll
pick
tell
you
you,
up? Do you know what I
a
mean?
funny story. Yeah, I've said this on the dungeon before. My eldest was having a date, and the guy turned up. She lives on the same street as me. I live 3 houses down. As I was driving into my street, I see a guy on a motorbike pull up, right?
Yeah.
As I drive by, my daughter sees me, but she doesn't know that I didn't see her. She sees me, rings up the guy, and goes, right off. Right? I purposely then went around the block to think that I'm going somewhere, right? I drive back. He's parked in front of my ex-wife's fucking house, right? I said, if I ever see you on the back of a bike, I'm gonna fucking shoot you, right? Haven't you got a gun?
Yeah.
I went up to the guy. Okay, hello, I'm so and so's dad, right?
Yeah.
Nice bike. If I ever see my daughter on that fucking bike, it's going to be fucking problems.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Alexia, don't pull this fucking, that's my daughter's fucking name. Don't pull this shit on me again.
Yeah. But what was upsetting you was a safety issue, wasn't it?
What I said, safety. Okay, you could take my car if you like. You could take your, my ex's wife. You're not taking this fucking bike. And if you try to pull one over me, my daughter knows what I'm fucking like.
Yeah.
So, Narc, Chief said, not verbatim, but Chief said it's how you show up, right? It's what.
No, you didn't say that. You didn't say that.
What's going on in here? He said, if I come to a date with the mindset like a gold digger.
One sec. In Florida, everyone flexes. They haven't got the money, right? Everyone flexes in Florida, right? How would you know who's worth $500,000, and how do you know someone's $500,000 in debt? You wouldn't know in Florida.
That's an interesting question, Edith. What is the answer to that?
Well, that's why I go by intention. How do they show up?
But you're missing the point. Florida is known that they've got so many companies that rent luxury cars. Am I right, Chief Tit?
Oh,
it's every center.
Yeah.
I haven't been there.
In Florida, everyone flexes. So how would you know who's got the money or not? That's my point.
But see, I think what Edith's saying is she wants a $500,000 effort, not somebody rocking up and sort of not giving a shit and being insecure and whatever.
Exactly.
It's an attitude thing.
A wife beater.
What does that mean? What does that mean, attitude?
Because when you think about it, right? I mean, she's already married anyway. She's not going out dating because she wants to find another husband. So what's the difference to her?
What happens if the guy's broke? What happens if the guy's broke? Shitty attitude, but he's got a 10-inch cock. He's missing out on a 10-inch cock. Get the fuck out of here, Chief Tit.
Edith, I can't answer that question for you.
Right? No.
That's
there's no saving you from that one.
Look, that's the 28-year-old. I already have that.
Look,
it's 28 with a 10-inch.
I say it with my female friends who are fussy. And a lot of these women were professional, did well in their career, but they wanted someone higher up. They wanted to marry up. And there was less people to choose from.
Hypergamy.
Shut the fuck up. Now they're fucking single. They've tipped, right?
Is he popping up hypergamy?
Yeah, there are a lot of guys out there who are ambitious. They might make $500,000 in a couple of years, but you're ruling them out.
I just look, Narc. I want somebody.
And you're fucking married.
What's the difference? What is
the
difference?
Who cares if they don't make $500,000? You're just gonna bang them. You're gonna suck some cock. Maybe double penetration with a fucking friend.
But they've got to have,
right?
you know.
But what the fuck?
They've got to be. Hold on, Naki. What she means is they've got to be a classy bang. They've got to be a classy bang.
What are you talking about? They can wear a gimp mask. Who gives a fuck?
She doesn't want a gimp mask. She wants like a Fabio.
What's wrong with a gimp mask?
Dude.
What?
What are you on about? A gimp mask?
He's the antagonist of our story.
What the hell's going on here?
So Edith, this is what Narc's saying. Narc's saying if he rocks something,
you're fucking married, Edith. You're on the wrong side of 50. Come
Okay,
on,
if I blend together the perfect guy that's going to rock up to the date, if I blend together Edith's ideas and Narc's ideas, he'll be standing there with a 10-inch cock, $500,000, wearing Cole Haans and a gimp mask. How the fuck do you get somebody like that into a restaurant?
It's complicated. Like, it's complicated.
Yeah, no shit.
What does that mean? What does that mean, complicated?
It's not
that's a
as
cop-out. That's a
complicated
cop-out.
in my head as it is in yours. You can't
See,
see it
Blondie,
because
Blondie.
you put all these.
Hey,
No, I'm not going to do
Blondie.
that. You make me laugh.
No, Edith, look, I'm hard looking at you. You're an attractive woman, right? I don't like your dress sense today. You're a bit scraggly, right? So if we have a voice, a meeting over Skype or fucking StreamYard, I wouldn't date you. You're wearing a sloppy Joe. You're wearing a fucking
That's
sloppy
your
Joe.
prerogative, and I love
I'm
it
saying,
for you.
right?
Yeah.
I like the glasses. The hair's
What's
okay
underneath?
today.
What's underneath?
Take the
That's
jumper off.
right there. Look. That's
Is that
it.
Oh, okay.
That's it right there.
What? Well, you got tattoos?
All over.
What do you mean?
Narc.
All over.
What do you think I
Stick
mean?
knife.
I have tattooed all over.
What, do you pussy too?
Oh my god!
You can't just
No,
drop it
you're
like that. You have to
down,
let
Narc,
it
calm
go.
Shut the
down.
fuck up. Shut the fuck up. If you got, hey,
You shut the fuck up. You haven't even come on my stream, you lousy fuck.
what am I doing now? Fuck off. Now, look, we got a guy, gun glutton. He dated a girl who has got a tattoo with arrows pointing to her butthole. Right?
Okay.
You know, gun glutton, Jeff.
Archie, I think that you're about to. We've got to be nice to our panelists. Please be
What do you mean
professional.
nice? What does that mean? What does that
Because you
mean?
won't come back on if you get a revolter.
Yeah, okay.
No, I'm interrogating you. You're the fucking lawyer. This is your fucking job, Chief.
There's a matter of subtlety here,
You
Narc.
just let him go. I don't. That's just a bit too over the top there. You know, it's important.
That's narc, though, isn't it?
Judith, I've got to tell you, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on.
Thank you
We
for
will-
having me, Archie.
We will have you back again next week if you're available. Just, same time, same. But, obviously work comes first. And I must say, please don't get the wrong idea, guys, here. It's the mindset. And I think what you're saying is you don't want to have somebody who sponges off you. You want somebody who can pay their own way. And obviously, they should have a bit of chivalry where they pay for some of the meals and things. And every meal has to be 5-star fine dining. It can be, you mentioned you like to cook.
I love
You
to
like
cook.
to have many. It's not just going to fine dining and then picking expensive trinkets to add. This is a complex thing there, and you know what, everyone is entitled to their opinions. I asked that question because I thought it would raise a cat amongst the pigeons, and it certainly has. But I mean, the thing is this: anyone can ask for anything they want. So
and the other person can say no.
exactly right.
We
They
all
don't
have
to
free will.
Exactly. So
and I just want to say, Archie, thank you so much. I don't take offense at all. I've worked very hard to get where I am. I've been called worse. So
Yeah. Don't get offended.
I'm not.
He's just an agent provocateur. You know what I mean?
He is our antagonist to the story.
That's right. And you always need an
Right.
antagonist to a protagonist.
Yeah, that.
yeah.
All right, Arch. Well, I'll see you later then. Great stream.
Yeah, so I want to say a big thank you. Let's thank our super chatters: Black Cat 997, Chief Tit, Yankee Doodle, Chief Tit, Black Cat 997, Yankee Doodle, Chris F, Pinstripe Breeze, and Black Cat. And remember, I'm Marcus Allen, and you're not. Actually, that's his line. Guys, we'll be back next week. Please come again, Judith. And if you want to check out more of Judith's work, you are on. What can they see your work on? Let's give you a plug before we go.
NOMT Productions. They can
And
look
that
that
is on
or
Instagram.
Edith the Producer.
Okay. Just Google that. It'll bring it up. Thank you so much. See you next week, guys.
Bye.
Hi guys, it's ArchieLuxury. Guys, I want to talk to you about David SW. David SW, David SW. Guys, if you are in America, if you are looking for a Rolex watch of your dreams, in fact, if you're looking for a contemporary modern wristwatch, I strongly advise you to look at David SW. Guys, don't play the dealer games. Don't bring in chocolates or Krispy Kremes for your dealer hoping to get a Rolex at retail. It's futile. Please, guys, save your dignity. Keep some pride. Go to David SW. I would highly recommend David SW, David SW. If you're in America and you're looking for a watch, go to David SW, David SW, David SW.